But it sounds should be okay. Should be. 就是稍微有点那个 KTV 的那个效果。对，因为我们现在啊，唱一首歌，看看那声音。好，我们这歌手是龚老师。Guitar 对，真有 guitar。还有一个，哎，明天吗？Okay, I think this is a very exciting event. For the past week, the students are work very hard, and I witnessed that night after night work, especially some drawing and modeling. I quite appreciate that. And today we have experienced about 2 hours jury session that all our guests has checked every works and have discussed for about half an hour. I heard that this, there's no fight, right, during the jury. But I think the result, I believe the result should be quite good because all our full-time faculties were not in the jury room. It's all jury decide the result. So actually for me, I have no idea who is the winner right now. It's all in the jury panel. So before that, I would thank Andrea. And also today, we have all our honored guests here. We have 陈其宏副校长，林其宏 I'm so sorry,林其宏 It's my fault. 对不起。Okay. Arthur 从Many Ways 小事研发 Arthur。Okay. 然后我们还有Eric， 对不起，我刚太帅了，跳过我们讲这个 band。对，然后 Eric 是我们之前经常在所上也都开过课，最近可能 business 都太忙了，要邀请你过来都很不容易。对，好，我们欢迎 Eric。这边有坤峰老师，陈峰老师是在现在是自己的事务所，之前也在成大有开过课。对，那我们现在欢迎坤峰老师。对。我们这边从成大来，我们在建筑学院这边非常过去是老师是在东海，对不对？在东海大学这边，我们也担任了很长的国际长、院长、建筑系主任，然后现在到成大也做了非常多在创新。刚刚我提到也跟 Arthur 做的是有关这个做有关于这个资源的在材料方面的研究。对，建筑现在也都慢慢迈入到这个循环经济。那我们现在欢迎老师，对，谢谢。好，那我们先很快把这都介绍过一遍。那我们让等一下，是不是由我们现在用等一下Andrea 来讲一下好了，好不好？Andrea, that later on that probably every guest, every jury can have a comment regarding the whole competition and what you have saw and what your comment. But right now we don't announce the winner yet. We will leave that to the very last of the event. Okay, so probably Andrea, you want to be the first?
Yeah. Okay. Ni hao. Hello, everyone. Good to see you. It's late at night here. Good morning to you. And I want to also thank my hosts at school, the faculty, and fellow jurors. It was nice to almost meet each other, virtually meet each other, and have a good discussion. But especially I want to thank all of you students for a tremendous energy and initiative this week. It was really fun to have a look at what you've all imagined and done, and I recognize a lot of hard work there. So before we even start, let me say thank you to all of you. We're going to take turns in making a few comments about each of the projects, and at the end then will be the big announcement of our winners. So First, and I do want to say thanks to each of you. The presentations were terrific, and the videos were stunning. Many of them were really, really spectacular. So you are representing your ideas well. We'll start with group number 1. Are we going to have an image up of that, or we'll just speak of it? You know who you are? Is that right? We're going to pull up one image on the screen of group number 1. If not, I'll just make a couple of comments. Or we have a model to come in, something that we can all see and know what we're talking about. There we go. Let's get one of the model photos. Great. Okay, group number 1 had a project which was very intelligent about capturing space that is underused for the purpose of the new classrooms, and using this under viaduct space, an abandoned parking lot or underused parking lot, is a great site for this. And then suspending a platform for classrooms underneath that highway. So the idea of that location and found space, I think, was very interesting. The notion of introducing an element, the third space, as they called it, which introduced light and green planting material into the middle of the space, crossing diagonally through the classroom space, I think was the principal idea. And we learned quite a lot about that space, maybe a little bit less about the classrooms themselves. But all in all, I think it was a very intelligent idea for appropriating a found space for such a purpose, and a real challenge to make healthful, light, and bright classrooms in such a kind of underspace. So let's see, who's going to speak about group 2?
Hi, 大家早安啊，我叫林奇宏. So I'm gonna say a few words upon group 2. First, it's first time for me. It's a very fresh experience, and I enjoy it a lot. So we have discussed about this design on the group 2. It's named SOS, Solution of School Urban Plugin. Well, I think this is a very practical design. Literally, you can put this design in any courtyard in Taiwan's elementary or junior high school. So I prefer this kind of idea that you can put your concept into actions. So this also create extra space that also enable distancing among different participants or players in this courtyard. So it's very intriguing to me with this kind of concept. However, do we have a designer or author in the audience? Okay, so if possible, I certainly would like to ask 1 or 2 questions, if you can answer on that. First of all, what kind of material do you plan to put in? Okay, you can answer in Mandarin if you prefer to do so. And second of all, this is an open space. I just wondering how do you deal with the weather issue in Taiwan? Because I remember in March, we thought the pandemic were sort of diminished in the hot weather, but it turned out that it gets even more severe. Okay, so the lockdown or closing up of the campus also need to be performed in the summertime. That caused some problem, probably not only in Taiwan, but in lots of other places. So just wondering, do you want to comment on those two issues? Are we allowed to do so?
Yes, yes, sure.
我们是使用就是透明的 PP 板，然后再用英文。就是我们在材料上的使用就是偏透明的那个 PP 板，然后一方面是希望它可以呈现一种弧形的样态，就是它有办法可以让人们拿到这个 package 的时候，可以自己去微缩出属于自己比较适合自己基地的一个空间。那希望，因为它是一个在方选的设定上，它可能会是比较偏小学的一个机能，那我们就会希望之后的就是未来小学，它可能发展的就是不只是一个教育的场所，它同时可以和就是人民所在的一些基地产生一些呼应，不管是那边的环境啊，或是光之类的。所以我们就会希望这个材料，它除了可以塑形之外，然后也可以轻易的搭建，然后搭建出这种临时性的建物，然后也会希望它可以在材质上呼应这个环境，就是透光什么的。所以我们就会选择了像这种比较雾面的这个 PP 板的形式这样子。那在第二个问题，没有，因为其实我们现在的设定，它是以一个公园为一个基地。那我们选择以公园为基地的原因，是因为我们设想，就是原本的城市就是在 urban design， 他们就是一个公园附近就会有就是一定的居民量这样，所以我们就把这个示范用的赛车设定在一个公园的环境，但它其实可以不一定在就是这么曝晒的公园里。然后在这个居民他们比较轻易搭建的时候，他们可能可以设定在就是室内，或者是其实在那个骑楼里，他们也可以随时搭建出一个属于自己的一个展览空间，或者是他们希望有一个比较大型的阶梯空间，然后他们就会希望可以自己用这个 PP 板，然后我们有设定给他们一个单元性的规格，然后他们就只要放上去，这样就是足够的那种插件系统，然后自己创造一个空间，这样，或者在屋顶上就是也都可以搭建这样。谢谢。
Thank you. Thank you. I can't see you so closely. Number 3, I guess that's Archipelago. Can we have an image of Archipelago up there?
Andrea, it's your turn.
Yes, it's my turn. Let's just have an image up there. This was an interesting project. I think a kind of, and I understand it's on a site somewhere near or on your campus, in a corner surrounded by roads, so a found corner of the campus. This was an interesting project to me because it is taking the idea of a raised platform as a new terrain, a new level for play, getting it up in the air, and then placing on that platform a series of structures for which there's some information here, but effectively four small separate structures, each a classroom, and then below a space for recreation under cover. So you have both a covered recreation space, you have an outdoor open air recreation, and the maximum of daylight and opening for the 4 classrooms above. So it's a little bit the inverse of the Fuji kindergarten idea, where the classrooms are below the running around roof surface, but here you get a double covered play surface and open air surface with lots of room for everyone to spread out. Very nice model as well. Great. And we go on to the fourth one. Fourth one is black sheep. Who's going to speak about black sheep?
So we'll be it can have a lot of additional lights. Many of its structure needs to be integrated and operated a lot more. But in general, it is a very interesting idea to take a found location, underutilized location, and give it a new life.
I would just add a couple of points here. I think it's really a very interesting idea to take effectively a bunker, an enclosed protective remnant structure from military protection days, and try to really transform it for use as a classroom. And there's an elaborate system of ramping up and around it, and then suspending floors within it. So a kind of really interesting, seizing upon a very interesting found object. And I must say, an absolutely beautiful film, video film, to go with it. We have group 5. Group 5 is Paradise Regained. This is an optimistic project. Who's going to speak about this one?
I'm going to speak about this one. Great job done on this one. And I think a couple of merits I'd like to mention, because it's putting the new educational space right in the middle of a major city, which is the Central Park of New York, which become a focal point addressing the important issues of and value of education among the epidemic period. Get organized quite reasonably of a modularized approach, and with a tent structure. And I like the way it sort of address a couple of issues, including the accessibility to water, to the park, and also to the open air with temporary enclosure that's possible to separate the, from environmental concerns. But the one thing that I like the most, which was expressed in its festivity or festive kind of character, I guess maybe I'm overreading it, but I guess it's addressing the expression of the educational values, especially during the epidemic time, that the education is really the hope of the city, with its balloon rising up and down, indicating the situation of the epidemic development. I think it will certainly become the focal point of the entire New York City, and I think it's a very humorous way to address it, but it also kind of a look beyond just the functionality of future education, but into its metaphysical meaning. So I think this is quite a nice touch to it. Thank you.
Thank you. Another project that has a kind of very playful and youthful feeling is the next one, jumble bubble.
Bubble is another structure, different type of outdoor learning potentials. You're connected. Of course, it's addressing the unfound, addressing underutilized sites, or potentially it's a park space, lack of approach. With a couple of his other projects had that in similarity. And yeah, of course, we certainly hope some of the details and how its interconnections can be realized and how it can adapt to other spaces that can, like Tetra Pak, or some sort of like a geometric map system.
Good. Group 7, distance. A very interesting exploration of the different ways of thinking about distance.
Yeah, I think this is one of the most provocative, interesting projects among the 10 proposals. I really enjoy reading this presentation because it is something like a comics, and also propose a number of interesting objects to be inserted into the shopping mall, which creates some kind of conflict actually between the really public, crowded, and the private, secluded personal spaces. One of the interesting things is the water drop objects, which can be underwater, also can be connected to some paths. I think it's really interesting to look at how students within so short period of time and can create such kind of a imaginative proposal. Although I think the issue of learning and outside schooling can be further addressed, I think this project got the potential to think about how to engage into the very crowded public spaces.
Great. Thank you. Group 8,
Okay,
school in motion. Yes.
first of all, I would like to, I think this competition, you guys, I really appreciate you guys, your efforts on working on this quick competition in such a short time, because from the drawings and the models I saw this morning, it's quite impressive to me. For this project, I would like to say somehow it's programmatically it fulfilled the requirements, but given the chosen and the specific site conditions, it somehow confine your design flexibility. What I'm saying is that it's not mobile enough, and it's not in terms of concept. For this program, for classroom, how can you adapt to the this post pandemic era, and how in this morning the jurors we focus a lot on the flexibility and mobility of this kind of post COVID-19 program. So I would like to say the drawing to me is quite nice, and the presentation, and it's quite architectural. And for me, for the short-term competition like this, sometimes you may really want to grab more the theme. I mean, conceptually, not just doing real architecture. It's for me, this is architecture for me. So you guys can relax a bit, not so serious. Even if you want to look at seriously, in terms of the structure and tectonic system, it's not working either. But for a short-term competition like this, you should explore the potential on the concept. Andrea, back to you.
Yeah, I was just going to say one more thing about the school in motion, and that is that it's, I think, the one example that really explored stacking in a small footprint, which of course is one kind of challenge. If space is not to be found, then how, even in a temporary structure, would you manage to stack units to take a very little footprint, but to create a school that had those other qualities. So moving on to group 9, Cool Kids. Cool Kids was cool. And there were many, many aspects of this project that, that were very engaging. The very heart of the idea is that it is built around mobile elements. I like to think of this as kind of super food truck concept in which an extended armature of a truck that could drive to a site, be modified and be expanded like RVs that grow extra rooms and porches and so forth. This can grow classrooms and other gathering spaces. And then when they aggregate 2 together or 4 together, they create play space and outside space at the juncture of them. So there was just a very rich palette of ideas here that went to the very heart of the idea of a temporary classroom, something that will be there for a year. Maybe it's needed in another neighborhood next year. We can imagine it kind of closed for bad weather and rather open for good weather. So there were just a lot of rich ideas here that I think was cool. It was cool. And then turning to our final group 10 project, Core Yard, clever play of words. And here again, I was quite interested, we all were, in the idea of looking at the existing fabric of the cities of Taiwan, their density, and these walk-up apartments where there's a core stair feeding apartments either side on each floor, and seizing upon that space to rethink it, reimagine it, and insert a structure within it which could not only bring more light and air and do the job of moving people up and down, but also add the space that was necessary for temporary classrooms. And the idea that this was close to home so that children didn't have to travel far for their temporary classrooms was also very thoughtful. So this was a really good project, an example of finding the opportunity in the spaces between that could be occupied in a temporary and renewable way over time. A very nice project. And I think that is the entire group. I want to go back to the view of the whole class. Okay, and before we get to the final exciting moment, I just wanted to ask my other fellow jurors whether they wanted to say anything in general about all of the entries, about the work of the students overall. Any Any final comments before we make our announcement?
Okay. 也许在座的我们是在座主要 jury， 对于最后我们在做选择，在决选的时候，好 ，Yeah, we will just circulate through the jury members to talk about your decision, your considerations, all these things, and then after that, then we'll back to Andrea to announce the winner. Andrea, is it okay?
Fine.
Okay, good. Okay, maybe we can start from Eric.
Okay, I think I was quite fascinated by all 10 proposals, given that, you know, a very short time, such a great effort. I wonder if you guys have ever slept for the past few days. But great job and the good exploration. And I think there's enough diversity in different directions. Whether it's horizontal, stacked on the water, in the park, in the city, in the back alleys, underneath the highway, you know, all sorts of things. You guys quite explored quite a lot of options and alternatives here. I really don't have any sort of general comment. I think I taught here before. I know you quite well. But one thing is that for an idea or more a conceptual competition, the focus is really on how you create a new innovative approach to an old problem. Given this is a new problem, but the architectural issue is quite traditional. How do you utilize, mobilize, or reuse, or even adapt? So the point is should be placed on how do we approach the same issue with a different perspective. So it's the bottom line is really how do you change the way you look at things, and I think all 10 proposals address and express a certain level of their effort on these things. So it's very commendable. Thank you. I enjoy a lot.
As I said, I'm new here, but I enjoy a lot. I think the topic picked, the challenge picked in this competition is real, especially in the pandemic area. I just want to encourage students, you know, this change will be last for a long time and also will accelerate lots of new things. Take, for example, the healthcare area, most familiar with, the decentralization of the health delivery system will be much faster than we expected. We have already envisioned this kind of change, but the path it will hit us will accelerate it quite a lot in the next maybe 5 to 10 years. And also that will change the long-term care issues. So these are two major issues that we're going to face in the near future. So in our domain, we encourage students to do multidisciplinary research and engagement. I think the same words I share with the students in the School of Architecture. Thank you.
I don't want to say the good things. I'm sure plenty of you guys know all the good things that you already done. But I want to say the bad things always. No one start from material. No one start from the technique of constructing. No one start from the most basic building componentry of that material. You got to know during the pandemic time, you want to do anything. The first thing is your material is in critical supply stress. So you cannot build with a metal from China. You cannot build with a material that's going to be may say. So you want to create a temporary working space, you need to find objects or existing structure. Of course, you guys use existing structures, etc., but all your interventions has almost no real relationship to the material, how you acquire that material, how you create. Then on top of that, and I think the exercise is mostly a programmatic exercise. It's like, what can the future of school be? Can it adapt to the surface of the wall? Can it adapt to parks, parking lots, water, etc., etc.? But at the end, I think what we are still really missing on the design, with the design, for me, because I personally have a very heavy focus on material, how you acquire that material. And this is, I mean, just imagine, no one's doing it, better be doing it, because eventually everyone will be talking about it. So I've been saying that for 20 years, so it's okay.
Maybe 2 points to add after those jurors' comments. First, I think we are very, very lucky. We are not like the United States. We are so lucky to be face-to-face without wearing the masks.
Yes.
We can still join the classroom teaching, not even in the Charlton University, but also at Cheung Kong University and so on and so forth. But in the States, all the universities are closed. So my first point is to remind all of us, when we talk about the issue of pandemic, we have to face the reality of Taiwan, maybe in the near future, what kind of problems we will be encountering. So some of them are very, very imaginative in the proposals, but I hardly see the real problems actually emerging from Taiwan. So hopefully through this short exercise, you guys can really expose yourself to the real problems of Taiwan facing the pandemic problems. And secondly, I actually really feel very, very good about the atmosphere since entering the building, which reminding me some 20 years ago, actually I joined as a part-time faculty in late 1990s. You could hardly have a space. I think people move around and eventually you have a good space. And after walking around, and I think this kind of short exercise is very important as I talked to Professor Gong. You guys actually far beyond the very limited or rigorous teaching in the whole semester. Normally, we will have 18 weeks to finish 1 or 2 studio projects. But this kind of short exercise is very important in many, many aspects. First of all, you work as a team. And it's horizontally and vertically collaboration, which is very important for all of you to know each other and also to become friends, to fight, also to debate. Learning how to collaborate is very, very important in architecture education. And secondly, because you don't have enough time, so you guys have to really get good ideas and to convince others, and then to finish a very, in a way, a more convincing proposal. So someone have to do the video, someone has to draw, someone to make the building models. I really enjoy a lot because I think it's actually beyond my expectation. You guys has accomplished a lot of work. And also, I hope this kind of spirit can still move on. You guys have created a very good ecosystem in Charlton University. Thank you.
Again, great jobs done, because there's such a short period of time, you guys achieve a lot of work, good works. Just one reminder is that whenever you guys have a design program, especially in the academia, in school like this, while achieving the programmatic requirement, please explore your concept as freely as you can. While doing that, please also consider what other jurors said, the material, the structure, the tectonic, because those are basics. Also, today's project, there are different sites. There are sites in Hsinchu, there are sites in Manhattan. So you guys should also look at the environment and what is happening now, because this competition is about the post COVID-19, post pandemic. So what Professor Liu just said, it's different in Taiwan and US. I think there must be some restrictions. Those are different. That'll make you think differently. So that's my reminder to you guys. Okay, thank you.
Right, it's the big moment, right? Oh, okay. Yeah, so I am really impressed of the work you guys did, and in such a short amount of time, the quality and the coordination among students, like I'm really impressed. Absolutely. Yeah, and like Professor Liu said, like we're very lucky that like we're not really affected by the pandemic that much. Like, except we have to wear a mask on public transportation and can still do physical teaching. Unlike in the US, like everything basically kind of shut down, like all in a sudden. So I will look at this as like a statement or like awareness for our students from an academic point of view, to propose this as like a learning for the future, like facing post-pandemic. So great work, guys. So the big moment, I'm gonna hand it over to Andrea to help us announce the
Great. And I just want to echo some of the sentiments that were just expressed. You are so very lucky. I hope you are aware of it. The idea of seeing you all in a room, face to face, sitting close together, without masks, without distance, I envy you tremendously. You have dodged a bullet. You've done it intelligently. Don't waste the chance to learn from this and to bring your best ideas to this moment where the rest of the world actually is suffering quite significantly. So you have something to offer here. And I too appreciate the work. I understand what students in a group can do in 1 week with a lot of energy and a lot of spirit. I do encourage you always to think carefully about the fundamental idea you're putting forward, and not to be seduced by your own incredible technique and graphics. There's a lot of talent here in those areas, but if there isn't enough substance behind it, of idea, of intention, whether that is programmatic or material or social, frankly, then it is attractive work, but not in the service of a really important idea. So I just encourage you to keep that in mind. And with that, if we don't have a drum roll, I will just take a breath and say our winner for the 2020 NCTU student competition is the Cool Kids. Congratulations. I don't hear all the noise and the celebration there. Want us to come up to the front, the Cool Kids? Great. I'm not hearing the sound of you. Langer, I don't have sound.
Andrea.
Now I hear you.
See that?
Now I hear you. I lost you there for a while. Can you
Oh.
all hear me?
Yes, yes, yes.
Yes, great. Well, thank you all. I didn't have a chance to properly congratulate you.
Okay.
Great work, everyone.
So I will hand this check.
Oh, there was money involved. I didn't know that.
I will hand the check to the student on behalf of Andrea. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, congratulations.
Great work.
Yeah, 你们应该可以跟 Andrea 可以找到这边。对。
Oh, yeah, we have a group picture.
All the juror and the student will
Yeah.
stand next to your screen, and they'll take
Okay,
so you
Okay.
now you're physically here.
okay. I wish I were.
Okay. Okay. Say cheese. And all that 三位评审 all the juror, please. All the juror, please. Yes, Andrew got you in the picture.
Got me in the picture?
Okay, great. Yes, yes, yes.
Okay.
Yeah, we are done.
Terrific.
Thank you. We are done.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. so-
Congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you. Yes. Wow. Yes. Andrea, would you please share the final comment regarding the winning team?
Okay, sure. Let's see, what can I add to what we already spoke about? But you know, I think one of the things that the jury appreciated a lot about your entry was the fact that it covered a lot of bases. It was well-rounded. There was a good idea. There was an interesting idea about mobility. There was the playing it out for different scenarios of learning environments. There was the notion that two of those things could come together, or four of them could come together, and that they could be there for a while and move to another place. So it really touched upon many dimensions of the challenge, including the idea that learning wants to be as much outside and in the fresh air as possible in this time, and that and yet in bad weather you need a way to create shelter, and that's not easy, because that means a building has to be transformable, and that goes to the actual physical elements that you use to make it transformable. So while in a week you can't possibly solve all those problems, actually, you did give us a sense of the possibility of doing it, where you would look for solutions to make those decisions and make those spaces transformable. So it touched, as every good project should, it's not one-dimensional. It's not that it's a great idea, but not very well worked out, or lots of wonderful detail, but where's the core idea? It was very even-handed in that way. It had, across the board, touched the many aspects of this challenge. So those are the things I appreciated, and I think the fellow jurors did well. You should know that there was quite a lot of convergence around your project as being the winner. So congratulations to all of you. Keep going, keep doing good work. And I hope to see you really one day very soon. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much, Andrea. Thank you, thank you.
Thank you, thank you.
Okay.
Okay.
Oh, okay, okay. We're going to take a group photo here, but can we see Andrea?
They keep doing all these photos.
这样子可以吧？这样子可以看得到 Andrea 吧？这样可以看得到她吗？我们就稍微有一点往这个方向，斜的方向过来一点好了。来，可以吗？那么同学们来，你们这里所有同学搬着椅子，来抓着椅子往这边 shift 一点，好不好？来，移过来一点，移过来一点。OK。
Oh, this is great. It's like really sitting next to you.
Yes, 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 yes. So we are trying to surround you.
Langer, you're going to be sure to send me a picture of this.
Yes, we will do. We'll do. You want to flip your screen a little bit so your face could be in the center. Ah, that's good. That's good. Okay.
Better? Okay, I took my earphones away too.
Can you make your face bigger? Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. 那个对。 Cheese.
Cheese. Cheese.
One more.
One more.
Okay. Thank you so much.
Great. Thank you. Thank you all.